the TokyoBill Weekly Update, an end-of-week news brief on events in and around Japan. Today is November 30th, 2024. As economic challenges persist in Japan, individuals are struggling to pay social insurance premiums and taxes due to health or job issues. Updated immigration laws may revoke the status of permanent resident foreigners in arrears, sparking criticism from the United Nations. Concerns include the impact on long-term residents, like Emma, a pseudonym, who fears losing stability. A group called the Alliance of Permanent Residents has formed to advocate for individual circumstances in the revocation process. Older permanent residents are also worried about the arbitration application of terms like willful delinquency, raising human rights concerns and highlighting Japan's perceived, and indeed demonstrated, weaknesses in this area. Japan's Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako paid their respects at the residence of Princess Mikasa, who passed away last week at the age of 101. The princess, widow of Prince Mikasa, was the longest living member of the imperial family. The emperor and empress visited the princess's residence at the Akasaka estate in Tokyo, where they said their farewells. The wake was attended by Princess Akiko and other members of the imperial family, who offered flowers around the coffin. A funeral and entombment ceremony will be held for Princess Mikasa at the Toshima Gaoka Cemetery in Tokyo. The controversy surrounding the memorial service for Korean laborers forced to work in the Sado gold mines has caused embarrassment for the Yoon Suk-yeol administration. Japan's decision to appoint Akiko Ikuina as their representative, despite her alleged ties to the Yasukuni Shrine, led to a request from Korea for a change in representative, which Japan refused. This, along with Japan's failure to include expressions of mourning or reflection in the eulogy at the event, prompted Korea to hold a separate memorial service. Both Korean and Japanese governments are facing criticism for mishandling the situation, with the future of Korea-Japan relations at stake if such issues are not addressed. Japanese low-cost air carrier Peach Aviation Limited will be reintroducing hot takoyaki octopus balls on its passenger flights starting from December 1st, after a 5-year hiatus. The popular food item was initially removed from the menu to reduce food waste. Due to its short shelf life, surplus takoyaki was often discarded when there were not enough orders. However, the airline has now decided to bring back the savory treat as a warm in-flight meal, priced at 900 yen for a set of 5. Peach Aviation hopes that serving takoyaki will allow foreign customers to experience a taste of Japan and Osaka during their flights. In Kibichuo, Okayama Prefecture, Japan, blood tests have begun implementation for residents due to PFAS chemicals being detected in the local water purification plant. Perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances are known to persist in the environment, introduced via packaging and cookware. This is the first publicly funded PFAS testing in the country. Approximately 800 residents are expected to participate, with tests measuring PFAS blood concentration, lipids, liver function, anemia, and thyroid hormone levels. Okayama University and others will analyze the results, with follow-up tests planned for 5 years later. Japan's Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako visited the residence of Princess Mikasa, who passed away at 101. She was the widow of Prince Mikasa, making her the longest living imperial family member since the Meiji era. The emperor and empress paid their respects at her residence, along with other imperial family members. Princess Akiko served as chief mourner at the wake. The funeral and entombment ceremony will take place at Toshimagaoka Cemetery in Tokyo. Emperor Emeritus Akihito and Empress Emerita Michiko also paid their respects to the late princess. Japan's antitrust watchdog is investigating Amazon Japan for allegedly forcing retailers to cut prices on its online platform, potentially violating anti-monopoly laws. This investigation follows reports of similar probes by U.S., European authorities regarding Amazon's treatment of third-party sellers. The company is accused of pressuring retailers to lower prices in exchange for preferential visibility on its website, creating an unfair advantage. The Japan Fair Trade Commission is looking into these allegations and is expected to gather information from retailers about their dealings with Amazon. This is not the first time Amazon Japan has been investigated for antitrust violations. A recent survey by Nippon Life Insurance Company found that the practice of nominication, or going out for drinks with colleagues to foster communication, is losing appeal in Japanese work culture. Many men and women believe nominication is unnecessary, citing reasons such as the need to conform to social expectations. Feeling like drinking with coworkers is like working overtime, and not liking alcohol. The survey suggests a trend of employees preferring to avoid nominication, potentially due to changes in work styles brought about by the pandemic. Despite this, most respondents still see value in face-to-face communication for smooth work operations. Companies may need to rethink traditional approaches to workplace socialization to attract talent. The Korea-Japan Top 10 show on MBN is gaining popularity for featuring singers from both nations performing iconic songs, including Japanese hits from the 1980s. This marks a shift from the past when Japanese music was rare on South Korean airwaves due to historical tensions. The show's success has allowed Japanese singers to perform in South Korea, helping young talents like Aiko Sumida to gain new fans. It has reignited interest in vintage Japanese pop music and fostered cultural exchange between the two countries. Producer Seo Hae-jin and fans like Park Hae-chun see this as a positive step towards better understanding and bridging the gap between Japan and South Korea. Sazae-san is a long-running anime series in Japan based on a manga by Machiko Hasegawa. It follows the life of a multi-generational family in Setagaya, with the matriarch Sazae-san at the center. The show has maintained a classic feel since it aired in 1969, with minimal updates to reflect modern society. With 214 seasons and 8,540 episodes, as of October 2024, Sazae-san holds the Guinness World Record for the longest-running animated series. The voice actor for Sazae-san, Midori Kato, also holds the record for the longest career as a voice actor for the same character in an animated series, making Sazae-san a significant cultural phenomenon in Japan. The United States and Japan plan to deploy sophisticated missiles, including HIMARS, to Japan's Nansei Islands near Taiwan to defend against possible Chinese invasion. This has angered China and Russia, with the move seen as a confrontation to China's military activities near Taiwan. The U.S. is also deploying long-range firing units to the Philippines, part of a strategy to deter Chinese aggression in the region. These actions aim to strengthen defense capabilities of allies and counter China's assertive behavior in the Indo-Pacific, as discussed in a recent meeting led by U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. A 53-year-old man in Takasaki, Gunma Prefecture was arrested for keeping cats in filthy conditions, violating the Act on Welfare and Management of Animals. The man admitted to not cleaning his apartment since 2013, which was full of animal waste and remains. Police allege he abused one cat by neglecting it in unsanitary conditions. The man rented the apartment starting in 2007, but stopped cleaning it 6 years later. He now lives in his car and only visited the apartment to care for the cats. The situation was reported by the apartment manager and investigated by the Takasaki city government. The Japanese government released the results of a survey on organic fluorine-containing chemical levels in tap water, revealing that certain chemicals may be harmful. PFAS compounds, including PFOS and PFOA compounds, were found in some water treatment facilities, exceeding the provisional targets set by the government. Despite measures taken by affected facilities, some still reported PFAS levels above half the target. The source of these chemicals in the water remains unknown. Many smaller water treatment facilities in Japan have not conducted tests or reported results, prompting the government to consider stricter regulations on water quality standards. An international team of researchers, including the University of Tokyo and Research Institute RIKEN, has developed a new type of plastic that can break down in seawater to reduce environmental pollution and plastic accumulation in oceans. The material, called supramolecular plastic, has similar strength to petroleum-based plastics and can be made from organic materials used in food additives. When exposed to salt water, the plastic quickly disintegrates into its original components and further breaks down due to bacterial action. The recyclable and non-flammable plastic is expected to have applications in precision machinery and architectural adhesives. And finally, in the Harry Potter world, Gryffindor is revered as the House of Heroes, but owning a symbol of loyalty to Gryffindor like the Sword of Godric Gryffindor has become illegal in Japan due to its classification as a weapon under the country's laws. The replica sword was sold for over a year before being recalled, with 351 units sold during that time. The Warner Bros. Studio Tour Tokyo, which features Harry Potter-themed exhibits, has provided information on returning the sword for a refund. Visitors to Japan are advised to be cautious when purchasing the swords through secondhand sales. That brings us to the end of news items for the week ending November 30th. These stories and more you can read at theTokyoBill.com. I've been, and remain, Tokyo Bill. Thank you for listening, and take care.